All right. Hey, this is Mike Colleen, MikeColleen.com. All right. So I've got another thing I want to say about something that I started to have a realization about. And again, this was about 2 years ago, when I was pretty much in the mucky, muddy part of this whole narcissist abuse recovery. I was still upset. I was still confused. Why the fuck did they do that? Yeah, I understood what a narcissist was. I'd been watching a lot of YouTube videos, learning about it, and then putting pieces together on my own. So one of the things, okay, and again, this was kind of one of those thoughts, like where did that come from? Was, it's like, how do I say this? Let me just bumble with my words here, because I can't find a concise way to say it. It was a thought that came up back then, and I pretty much rejected, oh, fuck that, because it was really, in a way, it was sick at the time. But it was this, it was like, are narcissists designed to purposely push your buttons and hurt you so much that you finally start, not only this isn't really it, but it's part of it, that you finally start standing up for yourself. You finally start saying, fuck this. It's like you finally are done. You're finally done with trying to get mean people to be nice to you. You're just like you say, I'm done. It's like, were they designed to teach you the lessons that you needed to learn without actually teaching you? And that's kind of the weird part. They didn't teach it to you. Because one of the thoughts was, it's like there was this do or die thing with narcissists. It's almost like, hey man, this is it's like, it was almost like God was saying, hey man, this is your last chance. You have got to finally start loving yourself. You have got to stop trying to make people like you that don't like you. You've got to learn these important life lessons. You've got to stop thinking because God, there's so much that I learned in this two and a half year period of time. It's shifted everything in a good way. So it's almost like they were purposely designed the way they were designed to purposely hurt you in such a deep way that it was literally sink or swim. When I was a kid, I was in the boat with my dad and my two older brothers. Now I was a little kid, so he didn't do it to me. But my older brothers didn't know how to swim, so my dad literally picked them up and threw them out. We were in the middle of a fucking lake. And he's like, hey, you got to swim back to the boat. And they're like, yeah. And they were screaming and flapping around. And he had no intentions of going out and saving them. Okay. Now you might think my dad's a bad guy, but no, my dad's a good guy. I think this was the only crazy thing I ever saw him do. So anyways, but it's here's the thing with narcissists. They'll fucking kill you. They'll poison you. They'll do all kinds of shit. I mean, who do you think is doing the criminal stuff of the world? The good people? No, it's the narcissist. So the thing about it is, that was the other realization I had. It was wait a minute, but what if you don't stand up for yourself? What if you don't walk away? What if you don't finally say, enough is enough? Because that's what happened with me. I was like, I'm done. I was fucked. It wasn't just with narcissists. I was done with any asshole, any narcissist on any level. I didn't give a fuck if you were my brother, my sister, my family, my best friend from high school. I didn't give a fuck. And you want to know what? I wrote off a lot of people over the last 2 years, because next thing you know, this person's well, Mike, didn't you know that I was a diagnosed narcissist? Wait, what? Done. Bye. See ya. Then another one, he goes, well, you do know that, I went to a therapist for them. They diagnosed me as, I forget what they call it, personality type narcissist or narcissistic traits. And I was like, yep, I'm done. Actually, I didn't get rid of that person right away. They had done some serious narcissist shit, and then I was like, I'm fucking done. Fuck that. And here's the thing, no hate towards them, especially these two people, because I very much love them, but it's they can't change. They won't change. Either they can't or they won't. I'm not going to try to make a judgment on that right now. I don't care. But I was like, I'm not going to be around people who want to shame me and hurt me and be mean. So let me go back to the original thing. So here's the thing. Is it possible? Because the choices you have to make are so hard. You're going to have to cut these people out of your life for good. And you have to put the wall up. It's no, You can't come back? You haven't changed. You're not going to change. Nope, I'm done. I'm moving on. Now, the thing for me, though, it was probably because I'm not going to try to explain it, but for me, there's things that in my life where I've done this before. I've cut people off that were really mean. Now, it took me years to do it, but by the time I was 28, I went through a real big awakening, and that's when I really started cutting people off. I was like, I'm just done with people being mean to me, but I didn't just cut them off like as fast as I do now. Now it's kind of like if I meet you once, twice, 3 times, and you're just a rude dick, I'm done. Whereas back then, it might have, for before I was 28, it would take me years, 4, 5, 6, 7, even 8 years before I'd be like, oh, I can't take this anymore. But then it got down to about maybe a year and a half, 2 years or 3 years or something. But then I had 1 or 2 people where it was like, no, I'd known them for 4, 5, 6 years, I think, or longer maybe. But it was less people, all right? So my point being is now it's like the minute I notice people have certain traits and it's like, oh, this is just who they are. Like, I don't even make a commotion. I just stop calling them. I just do it back. So let me kind of get out of that. So my overall thing that I'm saying in this video is it possible that, again, this first person I heard it from was Tony Robbins, but I'm sure other people have said it. But years ago, Tony Robbins came out and he said, it didn't happen to you, it happened for you. Again, when I first heard that, I hated that phrase because I had a lot of mean things happen. And with this experience, I'm going to tell you what, it really does seem like this is something that happened for me because it made me stop and make solid decisions, be like, I am done. I'm done with this person. I'm done with this reality. I'm done with people treat me like this. And I got to tell you something, that was the best thing, the most self-esteem building experience I'd ever had in my life. And it was just like, it was different than before. It was just like quicker, faster. And it's like, no, even if I go to a store and people are being dicks, like, man, you know what? I'm done. I don't go to the store anymore. So I think you get the point of what I'm trying to say here. So I'm hoping you guys are starting to realize like this was a learning experience, a massively learning experience. Some of you might still be in the middle of it still and still have more to learn, because when you learn what you have to learn, what you need to learn, your life gets better. I'm going to end this video with this. If you need help, I'm a professionally trained life coach. I've got over 41 certifications, close to 50. I'm not going to go into it. I'm highly trained in psychology, NLP, hypnosis, etc., etc., etc. I'm a professionally trained life coach. I've been dealing with people on this level for 30 years. This is what I do. I'm going to leave it at that. God bless you guys. See you in the next video. Remember, go to my website at MikeColeen, MikeColeen.